Thank you very much to our dance teacher, Yasmin Falzon. I really enjoyed the session and I tried to dance a little bit with her. Hi everybody, my name is Silvia Fenech Bagarotti. I'm a warranted psychologist, a psychotherapist and an emotional freedom technique practitioner. As you can see, I'm a bit anxious today and nervous because, as you can hear, English is not my first language. However, I was very excited to be offered the opportunity to present you with a fantastic and powerful technique, which is emotional freedom technique, because I think it can really help you in these days when we are facing the coronavirus anxiety. So I had to overcome my nervousness to be here with you and to start introducing it. This technique requires us to touch our face, so it's very important that before we start with a taster, you wash your hands or you sanitize them, so you will be able to touch calmly and freely your face. First of all, but what is this emotional freedom technique? Maybe it's something you have heard about, maybe something new to you. It's a technique which combines two things together. From one hand, we have the cognitive psychology and the psychotherapy. So we speak with a therapist or we can speak on our own about an issue or something we would like to solve or to improve. It could be a limiting belief, it could be an anxiety, it could be a fear we have, a difficulty, it could be anything. From the second hand, we have a technique which is physical. So with the speaking, we also have the physical part where we use the acupuncture points and we do acupressure on them. So we don't use the needles actually, like in acupuncture, of course. We follow the Chinese medicine as well, but we use our fingertips and we apply specific pressure that I will explain to you how. What I like personally about this technique, and not just me, but for many people now around the world who tried it, is that it's so portable. You can do it everywhere, even though nowadays you can't really go anywhere, but in the future it will be useful. It's very respectful, it's very easy to apply, it always starts where you are, so if you have a negative feeling, you start from the negative feeling without being afraid of not being positive, for example. And also there are no side effects and no contraindications. So, how do we apply this emotional freedom technique? As we said, we use the fingertips. So, usually we do a tapping. That's why it's called energy psychology or tapping as well. But if you are not comfortable or you don't like the repetitive tapping, you can also apply a massage or a pressure. You can keep the pressure. We do it at around 8-10 times on each point. And also we follow a specific sequence that I'm gonna show you now. So what are these tapping points? Tapping points are, the first one is this. It's called karate chop. It's the fleshy part of your hand. The second one is the crown of your head, which is in line with your ear. The third one is the eyebrow here on the bony part. The following one is the bony part on the side of your eye. Be careful, it's not on your temple here, it's on the bony part, it's a bit more closer to your eye, okay? Then we follow it under your eye, here, on the bony again. Between your nose and your mouth, we tap here. Between your mouth and your chin on this line, as you can see. Under your collarbone, touch your bones here. You will feel there is a V of bones. Underneath there is a part which is a bit softer. This is the part you need to target when you are tapping. And then we have under your arm, this part, this distance from your armpit. Let's say it's on the line of the nipples for men and it's on the bra strap for ladies. What is very important for us when we are tapping is that we have to tune into an emotion, because as you know, it's a psychological work as well. So we focus on a specific emotion while we are tapping on this sequence. So today I'm gonna challenge you a bit. As we said, we want this tapping to be effective for prevention of anxiety, or if there is anxiety, to target it and to help lessen it. So we're gonna carry out a sequence together. Why am I challenging you? Because I think at this point you want to try it on yourself, but it will look a bit strange, because you will be tapping on your body. It's something new, so please just take the challenge with you and see how it makes you feel. Okay? So, first of all, to start, we need to tune with our breathing, okay? So we will take 3 deep breaths. I would like you to really focus into your body. If you need to close your eyes, just do it. I will be doing it as well. And intake air, and then when you expire, just let your shoulders drop. So we do the first breath and let it go. We do a second one, tuning into the body. And with the third one, we try and tune into the anxiety we might be feeling when we speak about coronavirus. Okay? So with the third breath, try to see in which body part you can locate this anxiety. I'm gonna give you some examples, because usually there are some body parts, like my colleagues previously mentioned, where the anxiety and the stress unluckily accumulate. So try and check if it is on your shoulders or your neck. It's a very sensitive area. Or if it is in your stomach, maybe a contraction in your stomach or in your muscles in general. Try and see if it's a brain fog. Sometimes we can't really focus, we have a lot of thoughts going on, maybe it's that. Try and see if it's in your breath. Are you short of breathing? Do you feel your lungs cannot fill up? Okay, in this case, this is gonna be your symptom of anxiety. So take a mental note about which body part you're gonna work on and give it a rate. What does it mean? It means give it a number from 0 to 10, where 0 is my lungs are perfect, I can breathe perfectly, there is no anxiety, and 10 is a maximum anxiety, where you really need to seek for help or to do something, okay? Put this number in mind, keep it in mind. So what we are gonna do now, we are gonna enter into the tapping sequence. You just have to follow me along. I will be guiding you through the points, don't worry about that. And you just need to repeat some sentences after me, soon after me. So you can choose to repeat them in your mind or out loud, it's up to you. Remembering your rating, we take a breath. And we start tapping from the karate chop, this part. The sentence we use on the karate chop is repeated for 3 times. The rest of the sentences will be not. So, repeat after me. Even though I'm feeling a lot of anxiety in these days due to the coronavirus, I still accept all my feelings and all my emotions. Even though I'm feeling a great amount of anxiety in my lungs or in my stomach, fill in the part that you chose, the symptom that you chose personally, or in my brain, in my thoughts. I acknowledge how I feel and I remain as I am. Even though I have this huge amount of anxiety, which I rated 8, 6, whatever, out of 10, which I feel clearly in my stomach or in my breathing. I acknowledge it and I try to relax. Top of your head. I have this huge amount of anxiety, and you repeat. I have a lot of stress. Eyebrow. I can feel it clearly. It's really changing my life. I'm not free as I was before. Side of the eye. I'm really stressed. I feel it in my stomach or my lungs. I can't breathe properly. Under your eye. I need to check the news constantly. They are sending me a lot of messages. I have no peace. I can't stay quiet now. Under your nose. My life has a lot of changes. It's very difficult for me to stay calm. Under your mouth. I'm accumulating all this anxiety. There is a lot of uncertainty. Under your collarbone. I can't cope with all of this, it's too much for me. Under your arm. Too many changes, too many bad news, too many uncertainties. Top of your head. A part of me is really trying hard to take care of myself by controlling my brain, my nervous system. Eyebrow. They are really trying hard to help me make sense of what's happening around me. Side of the eye. And I acknowledge their ability to try and make me stay safe. Under your eye. At the same time, I also would like to relax. Sometimes it's too much for me. All this stress. Under your nose. A part of me would like to have a more normal life, more relaxed, would like to enjoy little things every day. Under your mouth. So, what about finding a balance between these two things? I'm not ready to give up checking. I cannot stop checking information and news. Is not safe for me. Under your arm. At the same time, I want to live better. I want to smile again. I want to enjoy little things. Top of your head. Maybe I can choose to do this. I can choose to give myself some free time. Eyebrow. Maybe I can decide not to keep on checking for a full day the news. I can decide to give myself a time frame, morning and evening. Side of the eye. What are the things that can make me feel better here and now? Everybody has his own list of things. What are mine? Under your eye. It could be taking some time to garden in my pots. Maybe it could be petting my cat or my dog. Under your nose. I can choose to take time to take care of myself. I can choose to cook a healthy meal, for example, under your mouth. I try to find things that make me feel better and more relaxed. I still acknowledge that I need to check and that my body wants to keep me safe, but I don't allow it. I don't allow it to keep on doing a whole day under your arm. So I can decide to let go all this alert and panic. I can decide to be more present here and now. I can decide to focus on the healthy little things I have at the moment and to try and maximize them. Okay, you stop tapping while you take a nice deep breath. Try to tune again into your body as you did at the beginning. While you are breathing 2 or 3 times, always letting your shoulders drop when you expire. And try and give it a rate again. So you tune into the initial symptom that you chose: constricted breathing, stomach, tension, a lot of thoughts. And you give it a rate so you can compare before with after. It is very important now that if you have a remaining anxiety, so if the number went down but not as much as you wanted, or it didn't go down, you can repeat the tapping more than once. That will be very helpful. And if you have serious difficulties which have been protracting for a long time, it's important you contact a professional. Here at Polaris we are still carrying on our sessions, so you can also enjoy them online if you feel the need to. Now, I think you would like to understand better how the tapping works, probably. So we're gonna spend a few words to see exactly what it does and how it works, because I know it looks a bit weird. So at the moment, what's happening with the coronavirus was, appunto, as we mentioned in the tapping, that we are receiving too many informations which are pretty negative. They are very scary, they are unpredictable, even the images that we see are very triggering for our anxiety system. The news are bad, the uncertainty, as we mentioned. So we are bombarded at the moment. What happens when all this information arrives into our brain? The brain elicitates a small part which is called amygdala. It's part of the limbic system. The limbic system is the more ancient part of our brain. It was designed to keep a check around in the environment and to make sure that it's safe enough to be there. However, if it was useful in the past, it's not becoming very useful for us nowadays, because we are accumulating the stress. You know why? Because the amygdala, it's like a smoke alarm. At the moment, with all this bad news from outside, it's firing. The firing elicitates the production of hormones, and particularly of the cortisol. And this hormone is for eliciting our fight, flight, or freeze response. Which means that in the past, when our ancestors used to go hunting, all the threats were mainly physical. So, for example, if they used to meet a lion which was going to attack them, of course they needed a system to activate them physically, to be able or to run away, or to fight with it, or to freeze until the threat goes away. Of course, our threats now are not physical anymore. So, despite receiving a lot of hormones like the cortisol, which make us ready and hyper to fight, we don't know how to get rid of these hormones, and the result is the effect in our immune system. That's why they are mentioning a lot. It's so important now with the coronavirus especially to keep ourselves healthy and fit, and this was repeated by my colleagues as well previously. because otherwise the accumulation of all this stress and information will be very dangerous, and we don't know how to release it. So the function of this system of the amygdala and the hormones in reality is to remove the blood from your brain and your stomach, your organs, to make you ready to fight or to run. That's why the symptoms now we are showing in relation to anxiety could be brain fog, difficulty to focus, stomach ache, and so on. So the stress has become from physical, has become a mental stress, but it remains also in our body because the symptoms are still physical. There are people who are not sleeping properly at the moment, they have disturbances in their sleep, stomach ache. There are a lot of people who are eating a lot. I'm sure you have seen this in the comments on the social media. There are a lot of jokes going around. People who eat more for the coronavirus anxiety, people who stop eating. There is this shortness of breath that I mentioned in the tapping. Why? Because the stress accumulates there, doesn't allow you to breathe properly, and many people went actually to take a testing for the COVID-19 when it was just anxiety. So one of the technique appunto we can use to lower this level of anxiety is EFT. EFT goes right there into your system to release the cortisol, so it's something chemical again. It allows the brain to work better because re-establishes the balance. And that's why it's so helpful. It also allows you to change your thinking. There is like a window opportunity with the tapping where your nervous system is calming down and you can change the brain chemistry. And that's the time when you are able to be more thankful, to be more thoughtful for your health, for what you have here and now. This is very briefly how it works, but if you have any questions about it, please post them down below and we will be answering. So, as you know, this will be all for today. I ask you to donate something to our Polaris. Polaris is still working online, and also remember to like the Facebook page so you can be updated with all what's happening at our well-being factory. That's all for today. I leave you in the hands of my wonderful colleague, Dr. Rebecca Chadwick. She's gonna speak about how to self-soothe in this time of crisis. Thank you for listening, and bye.